music.
There is no terrible way to win. There is only winning.
We won't be out long.
Take your time. Track's all yours.
You ready? The name on the middle of that steering wheel should tell you that I was born ready. Hit it. Attaboy.
Let me drive. I won't make a fool out of you.
I got a message for all of them. Shake and bake.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
These cars, you sit in a box, a coffin, gasoline all around you. It isn't like it being inside a bomb.
It's tough enough being a girl on the track. Living in my dad's shadow doesn't help much.
You have to be kind to the car. You feel the poor thing groaning underneath you.
No race was ever won in the first corner.
I'm gonna give you an engine, low to the ground, extra big oil pan will cut the wind from underneath you. That'll give you 30 to 40 more horsepower.
Every one of us has to find a reason to do this. You do it because you're driven.
Brakes are warm. Tires are warm.
I'll work in the cars and I'll drive and I'll eat and sleep and I'll work in the cars and I'll drive.
Damn fast, and when he runs it close together, it requires fantastic concentration and rather special skills.
I was beginning to think I'd never be anything more than a piston-happy lead-foot punk. Then this starts to happen.
If you're going to push a piece of machinery to the limit and expect it to hold together, you have to have some sense of where that limit is.
Besides, the best drivers don't dwell on the future or the past. The best drivers focus only on the present.
They could never have imagined it, those pioneers who invented the automobile, that it would possess us like this in our imaginations, our dreams.
I'm gonna give you a fuel line that will hold an extra gallon of gas. I'm gonna shave half an inch off you and shape you like a bullet.
Somebody put it in your mind you gotta be perfect every time out or you're a failure. Well, forget that. Just forget it.
Racing is in my blood.
I was put on this earth to race cars.
I accept every time I get in my car. There's 20% chance I could die, and I can live with it, but not 1% more.
No, Nicky, don't bring the percentages into this. Don't be a pro. The minute you do that, you kill what's good about this. You kill the sport.
And at that speed, your reactions can barely keep up with these sudden changes in direction.
You ready to put away your toys and grow up?
You want me to work the pit and you drive? Fine, we'll try that.
The car's a living, breathing thing, and she's alive.
If any of us imagined, really imagined, what it would be like to go into a tree at 150 miles an hour, we would probably never get into the cars at all. None of us.
Are you ready to become a real race car driver?
I am just as good as anybody out there on that track, and I don't need anybody to win my races for me.
I wish my daddy were alive to see this, to feel this.
And when we get you prime, painted, and weighed, you'll be ready to go out on that racetrack. You hear me? You're gonna be perfect.
You don't understand what happens, do you? They make 10,000 cars, they make them exactly the same way, and one or two of them turn out to be something special. Nobody knows why.
When I won it was probably the last time I ever felt pure victory.
So it has always seemed to me that to do something very dangerous requires a certain absence of imagination.
Because I'm quicker than all of you.
Soon you will know what it is like to be defeated by the hands of somebody who is truly better than you.
The only thing to do here is to drive just as fast as you know how and hope your car doesn't break.
And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
If you ain't first, you're last. There's 40 other vultures out there who managed to finish the race on their tires. You see Darrell Waltrip using up his tires?
There's nothing I can't do with a race car.
I mean, hell, isn't that what we're in this for? To stare death in the face and to cheat it? Come on, there's nobility in that. It's like being knights.
Sometimes you could swear the whole thing's falling to bits.
No pressure, nobody breathing down my back, just driving because I left it pure.
On the other hand, I suppose potential problems are in the back of your mind all the time.
So in many ways, I feel responsible for what happened. And
You were, but trust me, watching you win those races while I was fighting for my life, you were equally responsible for getting me back in the car.
You're so lucky. Sit there all closed in by machinery and bolts, precise things. There's hardly any room for you. It must be a nice, safe feeling.
Yeah, you gotta learn to trust something. Might just as well be the seat of your pants.
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
Well, we can drive. We can drive beyond the limits of the tires, the engine, the car, anything else.
Look out there. Out there is the perfect lap. No mistakes. Every gear change, every corner. Perfect. You see it.
I just hope when you do, that I'm there to see it.
Ask any racer, any real racer. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
But it isn't just business, is it? What we do. It's passion, love, which is why we are prepared to risk our lives for it.
Racing, That's the name of the game, isn't it? Win or lose, put up or shut up.
Why does everybody keep telling me what my problem is?
That you get so emotional.
You would never, ever say that to a guy.
If you don't leave your feelings off the track, you're never going to get what you want.
I'm a race driver, and I can win it on my own. Please let me race.
Fine. Then let's race.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Downforce Awards in association with GoBobby.uk. It has been a tough year for everybody in motorsport here in Great Britain, but we are going to celebrate the great achievements of this year in our time-honoured tradition as we use the hashtag on our social media channels, hashtag motorsport should be fun. We've always tried to carry ourselves through the British motorsport season in such a fashion. So we're going to go through tonight all of the results from the Downforce Awards. First of all, we'd just like to say a massive thank you to those people who continue to support us through everything that we do. We are very, very grateful to everyone who supports Downforce and has done so since we started going live for the first time all the way back in 2015. We've been a podcast since 2012, and there are so many partners who help us. Scale Extric, who have been beside us the last couple of seasons. Advanced Construction Scotland, we wouldn't still be in operation without Seamus Shields and the team up there in Glasgow. A massive thank you to them. To Trade Price Cars, who have given us plenty of content and plenty of publicity through their endeavours in the British Touring Car Championship for the last couple of seasons. A massive thank you to them. The boys in Portugal, socks inspired by iconic cars. A massive thank you to Heel Tread, who continue to be fuelled by passion and to share in our vision. To iRacing, the leaders in sim racing, who have given us not only content but also something to keep us busy with through the lockdown months. And of course to GoBobby.uk, and they have been absolutely instrumental in keeping us afloat in the 2020 motorsport season. We're very, very grateful indeed to them for everything they've given to us. GT Omega, who have kept me certainly sane through the course of the lockdown situation and scenario, as well as many of you as well. It's been a wonderful, wonderful season for us in terms of the continued nature of our partnerships, but there is so much more that we want to celebrate tonight. We are going to start with the awards that you already know about, because they've already been made public knowledge. The Commentator of the Year, as voted for by our Downforce Awards panel, was of course Paul O'Neill in his endeavour of the ITV Motorsport Paddock. It's been wonderful to see what he has given to the world of the sport, and continues to do so. We couldn't think of anyone more deserving of the accolade in 2020. Phil Bunn, a dearly departed friend of ours, the late great Phil Bunn, is not only awarded this year's accolade of Marshal of the Year for 2020, but moving forward, the award is set to be named in his honour. So we have a massive thank you to his dear departed colleagues who are obviously with us. Phil Bunn has been absolutely incredible in his service to the world of British motorsport marshals through the years. So a massive thank you to the British Motorsport Marshals Club, his friends and his family for the endorsement of the renaming of the accolade moving forward. Catherine Potter was recently named our People's Champion for her fantastic endeavours and promotion of Charlie Law on her kart through the course of her 2020 motor racing season. Her continued endeavours always excite us, and we're looking forward to seeing what her next chapter of motorsport will bring us. The FIA Karting Championships on the world stage and in the European circuit have become our international series of the year 2020 for continuing to race through COVID-19 in tough times, and of course continuing to give new countries and new territories racing success on the international scene. Back home in Great Britain, our circuit of the year was named as Adrian Flux Arena, not only championing the world of British motorsport, but of course in particular the short oval scene through tough times in COVID-19, and we wish all of them the very best heading into 2021 as they continue to do their utmost to keep people racing in grassroots level. The racing game of the season in 2020 was named by us as Assetto Corsa Competizione for its fantastic ability to basically blur the transitional gap between racing game and esports simulation towards the main event itself. Really is fantastic seeing what those guys are up to. The British motorsport community was our achievement of the year, keeping everybody racing and safe throughout COVID-19, despite all of the challenges and obstacles that we all faced. Our Hall of Famer this year is the late, great Sir Sterling Moss, who we couldn't think of anyone more deserving this year after he very sadly departed us in the spring, and what he has given to the world of motorsport for the last 8 decades has been truly sensational. And of course, we wanted to celebrate our National Autistic Society Award, as we always do. This year, for the first time, we decided to give it jointly to 2 very deserving young racers. Bradley Brockies, who's become a real star on the British esports circuit over the course of 2020. And in the Fiesta Junior Championship as well, the accolade is shared by George Davis, who has been racing for autism ever since his days on the short oval. It really has been a phenomenal 2020 season. We've had amazing amounts of support from you guys, and it really has become a wonderful end to the season that we can celebrate all of these wonderful achievements. I'm Jake Sanson, the Chairman Executive Officer of Downforce Radio and Downforce UK, and with me tonight is my Operations Manager at Downforce UK, and that, of course, is Alex Goldschmidt. Alex, how are your New Year plans tomorrow in Tier 4? As will I be, of course.
Funny you had to bring that up, Jake. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the official Downforce Awards for 2020. It has been a year, I think, that a lot of us will never, ever forget. Obviously, for those families who have been deeply affected by the current pandemic, our thoughts and prayers are with you at this very moment. But 2021, looking brighter than ever before. I mean, it's now I can go into it with a completely clean slate. And by what I mean is that I'm now in the same boat as Mr. Sanson. I'm self-employed. I'm in motorsport full time, and I have never been happier, mate. I mean, to be honest with you, it's been a really, really long roller coaster ride for the pair of us in motorsport, traveling to Europe, obviously, with what's happened this season for us both. But to come out the other end of it, still smiling, still laughing, as motorsport should be fun, despite what trials and tribulations have been thrown to us this year. It's been a good one, mate, and I'm looking forward to next season a lot more positively than when we had lockdown starting back in late March of this year.
Indeed. This is, of course, the moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. We had so many votes. Over 5,000 of you across the United Kingdom and further afield have voted in our championships and racer categories. So we're very, very indebted to all of you. Thank you very much for supporting us, as you always do. We're going to start with the championships and the National Championship Series as voted for by you, the British public, in 2020. It's no major surprise. They have won it many times before. It is the British Touring Car Championship. It really has been a phenomenal series again in 2020, Alex, despite everything that COVID-19 has thrown at it.
And also the fact we have a new 2-time champion with us at the moment as well, Ashley Sutton. You know, last year, going to the IARMY International Finals at Le Mans in shifters and winning on his debut event in non-direct drive, but to now with the team that is now going to be aligned with Team Hard. Obviously, I'm not at all surprised that the British Touring Car Championship, it is the talisman for British motorsport. But we have to give a shout out to the likes of the British GT Championship, British Superbikes, the BTRA, the British Truck Racing Association Championship, and Porsche Carrera Cup GB. There have been a big thank you to everyone, first of all, for voting for this evening. We've been waiting and holding our collected bated breath here as to who was going to win it. And of course, the BTCC, it's done it again. And that's an absolute landslide over British GT.
It certainly is. Well, we move from the National Series of the Year to the One Make Series of the Year 2020. Very hotly contested, this one, with so many of the One Make Championships in Great Britain up for the spoils. This year, the accolade goes to the Mini 7 Racing Club, which, of course, celebrated a year where it also ended up on the Toka package for a couple of weekends, Alex, and it really does deserve to be recognised as one of the best series in Great Britain.
Well, it's been around since day dot, and with the iconic Mini, designed by the late Sir Alec Isagonis, it is truly a motorsport powerhouse in its own right, and it's great to see that the Mini 7 Racing Club still continues to this very day. And, my first car was a Mini Chelsea, 1986 model. But to be honest with you, it was actually very, very, it was quite close, actually, between second to fourth position. And looks like it was the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Super Cup that took second ahead of Fun Cup UK with the Legends Cars National Championship and also the Focus Cup, where, funnily enough, we're going to have to give a mention to this guy. He is one of the BTCC paddock, of course. Trade Price Cars' very own Andy Wilmot.
Andy Wilmot,
because
indeed.
he's competed in the Focus Cup as well.
Yes, indeed he has. Well, congratulations to the Mini 7 Racing Club, the One Make Series of the year 2020. Well, we're going to continue on and we're going to focus next on the single-seater series of the year. Now, this has very traditionally been competed with against by the likes of Formula Ford, Formula V and 750 Motor Club, the 1000 series, the F1000 series, as well as, of course, BRDC Formula 3. But this year's winner, the 2020 single-seater series of the year, is British Formula 4. It really has been sensational on the Toka package in 2020. It gave us a very deserving and very closely knit world champion in Luke Browning, the British Formula 4 champion, the first driver ever to beat Carlin on the road in a British F4 season. And it really was a great fight between him and Zach O'Sullivan right to the wire.
It was indeed, and also, for those that don't know, Luke Browning is one of the many drivers that are part of Team Fordzilla, the Works esports team, who have the likes of David Simon, Cami Sturch, a very good friend, obviously. She's been doing really, really good work as well. There's quite a few other drivers. Our very own Dan Blake is racing with them in the E-Team Brit GT Challenge, which has its fourth round next Friday at Mount Panorama on the R Factor 2 platform. So Luke is, he's also a previous award winner of the Downforce Awards, Luke Browning, amongst other drivers. So it's good to see that he and the team, I think it was at Fortec, if memory serves me.
It was
correctly,
Fortec, yes.
Fortec, giving Trevor Carlin something to think about ahead of 2021. But well done to British Formula 4. And still, the likes of the F1000 UK, the Monoposto Racing Championship, of course, the BRSCC. We can't really discount that at all. The Formula Ford 1600 National Championship, and of course the BRDC Formula 3 Championship. Some very, very accredited single-seater championships here in the United Kingdom, but congratulations again to British F4.
Absolutely. Now, our next category for Series of the Year comes from the world of karting. Now, obviously, there have been some very competitive new series as well as established old ones, giving us plenty of entertainment and drama in 2020, and there's a lot of competition for this one. It was incredibly close, actually, in the vote, but the 2020 Karting Series of the Year, as voted for by you, the British public, was the Cadet Kart Championship. This is an amazing accolade for a series that has only been racing for the first time in 2020. It's their first year of competition, and Matty Street and all of the team up in Rochdale, they've been absolutely incredible, Alex, in putting together a rip-roaring season.
Well, you're speaking to one of that team as well, because I just so happen to work on their social media. So I think I can probably say for all the team, we're going bigger and better. We've got Junior Pro Kart, Junior Rotax joining for 2021. We have to say a big thank you to Max Shields and Sandro Ballesteros for sporting the livery that's helping to get people into karting. We've got the 105 and the 112 category in cadets. We're running, controlled tyres for all three classes. We're even giving people the opportunity to go with pooled engines for 2021. It's looking really, really bright, and Cadet Karting Championship, the calendar's already set in stone, and also with the juniors now joining, it's going to be really good. And of course, we can't forget to mention our Downforce Awards 2019 Commentator of the Year, Kai Bacchini, will still be behind the microphone for 2021. And what's more, he's even started racing again.
That is fantastic news. A big credit to F100 Spirit of the 90s, to the Ultimate Karting Championship, who was actually second in the vote in their first year of competition. I apologise, third in the vote behind the British Pro Kart Endurance Championship, very popular as always, and of course the British Universities Kart Championship. Great to get all of your votes, and a massive congratulations to the Cadet Kart Championship and the whole team in their first season. Now, onwards we go to the next category, which is the Saloon Car Series of the Year 2020, hotly contested amongst the British saloon car based categories, and this year it's not the first time they've been nominated, and I'm fairly sure it's not the first time they've won it either. This year's 2020 Saloon Car Series of the Year is the BMW Compact Cup, part of the BRSCC's programme, and a fantastic series which has seen many great drivers, including the likes of Stephen Daly and Dan Kirby, who now of course manages Trade Price Cars in British Touring Cars, grace the grid. It's great to see that this category continues every year, Alex, to deliver great motorsport, especially this year when it's been tougher than ever.
I do have a bit of a fondness for the Compact Cup, if I'm honest with you, Jake. I mean, I have to give a shout out to Ice Driver with the likes of Alison McKenna, allowing me to go over. And one of the cars that I fell in love with was the newer generation 328i Compact. And it is a classic, iconic BMW silhouette that I think will never go out of fashion. And for them to still keep the cars running out on the circuit, it's really good. It's close. It's competitive. I'm sure that Mr. Kirby will definitely testify to that as well.
And there is the other nominees, of course, in the list. The Clio 182 Championship from 750 Motor Club. The Alfa Romeo Championship, which is also part of that package. The Classic Sports Car Club's Tin Top Series and Castercombe's Saloon Car Championship, ever popular. But this year, the accolade goes to the BMW Compact Cup, and a congratulations to all of the teams and drivers that are a part of it, as well as to the organising club. Now, our next category is the Grassroots Award. Now, the Grassroots Series of the Year is for a category that prides itself on trying to get new racers and new teams into the world of motorsport as first-timers to get started in the world of competitive racing. And this year, the Grassroots Series of the Year 2020, as voted for by you, is Enduro KA. It is very popular. It has only been going a couple of seasons now, and it's already very, very much a popular grid and very, very beloved already, Alex, in the growing world of British club racing.
Well, funnily enough, I do have a bit of affiliation with the formidable KA. Funnily enough, I used to have one as a demonstrator when I started as a salesman at Dagenham Ford in Dagenham. And my first car was a 1.3 EFI.
Did you ever think there'd be a racing car in that respect?
To be honest with you, when they started, I thought, you know what? Actually, it's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Endura 1.3 EFI engine, mated with the 5-speed manual gearbox, I should know. I've driven, when you have to do a 130-mile round trip in that kind of car, down the A12, down the M25, down the A13, 6 or 7 days a week. As much as you hate the car, you kind of grow attached to it, and that's what sort of happened with me. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there were so many great categories. You know, the Daytona Super Champs, the BRSCC City Car Cup, which has the Peugeot 107, the Citroen C1, and of course the Toyota Aygo. I mean, that's been a great competitor. Obviously, Bad Obsession Motorsport and our good friend Richard Brunning really helping to provide some awareness of it and gave their car away to Mission Motorsport. The Auto Speed Stock Rods, the Circuit Rally Championship. You know, they're all credible, but Enduro KA, it was fun, it was cheap, it was inexpensive, and it had such a great following behind it as well.
Absolutely. Congratulations to everyone at Enduro KA, and we look forward to a prosperous 2021 season for them again. The Sports Car Series of the Year 2020 is next. Who doesn't love a good sports car race in Britain? There have been many of them through 2020, from July all the way up until December. It's only in recent weeks that the season has actually ended for British sports car racing. And this year, the Sports Car Series of the Year 2020, again, as voted for by you, the British public, is the Britcar Endurance Championship. And again, not for the first time, it is still incredibly popular. Lots of great teams racing here, using it as a demo bed and a test bed, as well as competing for the full championship. And over the last couple of seasons, and certainly since I started in the world of motorsport as a presenter and commentator back in 2012, Britcar has very much been a part of my motor racing journey, but it's been a part of everybody's, Alex. We've all seemed to have had a dally in Britcar at some point in the past.
Well, it was quite funny because we had this discussion a couple of years ago that we were both at the Britcar 2012 24-hour endurance race at Silverstone. You were I think you were in the pits most of the time.
I was
in
yes.
the media centre for the checkered flag. Shout out to Vince Pettit for getting me on that one.
Yep.
And I still remember that Mosler being absolutely hacked to death.
Tell me about
that.
it.
That was just painful. But you know, the way that Claire Headley and all the team have done a really, really good job. You know, the Praga R1 is now having a lot of people now joining for 2021. Jack Fabby, Charlie Martin, of course, one of the more influential YouTubers in automotive at the moment, Mr. JWW. He's got a Praga F1, and I understand he's entered for next season. So, you know, the thing is, the Britcar goes from strength to strength, and I'm not at all surprised. I mean, of course, we have to think of Jem Hepworth being one of the drivers that managed to secure a championship in that fantastic looking Praga R1 with the Motorsport woman livery women on there, a livery on there as well. We can't forget about those females that are really, really doing a great job in racing. And for Gem, first year out of karting from senior road tax, goes out and gets herself a Brit Car Endurance Championship title. I mean, who would have thought of that 12 months ago?
It's absolutely fantastic, and a phenomenal performance as well from 750 Formula, from the Bike Sports Championship, the Mazda MX-5 Championship on the British Racing Sports Car Club bill, and of course the Caterham Motorsport Championships as well. All very popular, but this year, and once again, it is the Britcar Endurance Championship that has managed to steal the accolade. Right, on to the Club Series of the year. Now, obviously, club racing is where a lot of us British motorsport fans start out. It's also where we spend the entirety of our racing career. We love to plug away year in, year out, racing because we love it. We don't just race for the win, we race for the crack. It's wonderful fun and we really enjoy it. This is the category which is very much part of the ethos of Downforce, in that motorsport should be fun. This year, the Club Series of the Year 2020, with a landslide victory in the votes from you, the British public, it is the BRSCC Club Sport Trophy. Absolutely perfection in terms of the 2020 the value for money it gave, the quality of the racing, and the quality of the experience for the competitor is what drove people to it, and it's very much a part of the heart and lifeblood of British motorsport already, and it's barely, Alex, been in operation a year.
That just shows that one particular series can really make a definitive impact. And in many respects, there are some championships that get it absolutely spot on. Cross the T's, dot the I's, make it fun, affordable, fair racing. Everyone gets an opportunity to compete in a multitude, a plethora of different racing classes. And that's the ethos behind the BRSCC Club Sport Trophy. I mean, just look, 275 taking them to the victory, just ahead of the Hyundai Coupe Cup. Another championship that we really, really do hold in high esteem. Obviously, Dan Blake again gets a second mention. Don't know why. He's raced in that championship as well before. The MG Owners Club Race Championship, Thundersport GP, the CNC heads Northwest Sports and Saloons. I mean, I think it's just that club racing is meant to be affordable for everybody, and it's just, I think that with the impetus that the BRSCC put behind the Club Sport Trophy, it has just shown that in the best way possible.
Certainly has. Absolutely. Fantastic work from the British Racing Sports Car Club. Again, keep up the good work, because clearly you know what you are doing when it comes to the Club Sport Trophy. Good stuff. Our final championship category for 2020 is the Junior Series of the Year. This is where we tend to get most of our promotion, most of our plugging, and certainly most of our best social media sharing, obviously with the younger audience. And this year, once again, has been ultra competitive, and it's usually a 3-horse race year in, year out, with the likes of the Fiesta Junior Championship, which has won multiple years, the Ginetta Junior Championship, and the Junior Saloon Car Championship. But there have been a couple of other nominees this year in the Honda British Talent Cup and the BTRDA Junior Rallycross. So this year, well, yet again, it's been ultra competitive. You, the fans, have voted, and this year, the Junior Series of the Year 2020 is the Ginetta Junior Championship. And it's no massive surprise when you consider, A, how competitive it was this year. But if you take the fact that, Alex, at the beginning of this year, they gave a young scholarship winner the chance to race for the first time, not only did he impress in his first rookie season, Tom Leben, but he actually went on to win the whole championship itself. It shows that Ginetta are giving these people an incredible platform and an opportunity to excel in their British racing careers in such an incredible, phenomenal way.
I mean, you look at the people that have come through this championship. All right, I'm just going to rattle off the names, and this just says it all, which also includes a father and daughter duo as well. It does,
yeah.
Okay, 2005, Toby Newton. 06, James Harrison. 07, Nigel Moore. 08, Dino Zamparelli. 09, Sarah Moore. 2010, Tom Ingram. Now, having officially announced that he is no longer staying with Speedworks in BTCC, so obviously everyone's wondering where he's going. Seb Morris, Charlie Robertson, Harry Woodhead, Jack Mitchell, Jamie Caroline, Will Tregurtha, Tom Gamble, Adam Smalley, and James Headley in 2019. Just that talent alone. And then you look who else has competed in it. Jamie Chadwick, Sophia Flörsch, Sebastian Prio, George Gamble, Ollie Basie Fisher, Josh Hill. I mean, the list goes on the amount of people.
Yeah. And of course, the one name you didn't mention there was Lando Norris. How amazing is that?
Well, I was actually, I felt, at the end of the day, yes, Lando Norris is part of the alumni. But when you look about the people that we don't talk about as much as we used to.
Very true.
It's always good. It's always good to make sure that everyone gets a mention, or as many as I could remember get a mention. Sorry, Lando. Sorry, mate. Hopefully, I'll remember that next year.
I have a feeling he'll get over it somehow.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Well, just get another helmet. Just get another helmet repainted.
Absolutely,
there,
I'm sure that will. I'm sure that'll do it. But just look at how close it was in the rest of the voting as well. Just one vote between the Junior Saloon Car Championship and the Fiesta Junior Championship this year for the second place honours. But a massive shout out as well to the Junior Rallycross from the BTRDA and the Honda British Talent Cup. But this year it is the Ginetta Junior Championship. Right, we are clocking on very well now, so we need to start looking at the results in the racers categories. Now we're going to start with the overseas category. Now this is for drivers and racers that have come from abroad to race in the United Kingdom. So it's people from overseas that have chosen to race in a national or club racing level championship in the United Kingdom in 2020. So obviously you guys took to the website and you voted, and we're all very grateful for the over 5,000 votes that we got in each of the categories tallied over the hall. So thank you all very much indeed for your support. So we'll go to the top 3 in our racers categories, and then we'll see the overall results as well and give a shout out to each of the nominees. In third position, the second runner-up for 2020 in Overseas Racer of the Year is Conor O'Brien. Congratulations to Conor O'Brien, Irish racer in British GT, doing a fantastic job aboard his Aston Martin. A massive congratulations to Conor. In second position, the first runner-up is Mia Fluitt, also racing in British GT and doing an absolutely phenomenal job all the way through her season. A massive congratulations to her as the vice winner of the Overseas Racer of the Year. But the Overseas Racer of the Year 2020 in the Downforce Awards, it's Josh Brooks. Another fantastic season for him and winning the British Superbike title in 2020. It was very, very difficult to overlook him, Alex, and the public have voted so.
Well, Brooks has always been a staple within BSB, and you can't discount the talent of all of Josh, Mia, and Conor as well. But Brooks is a household name in BSB, and the support for that guy can't really be it's rather unbridled, and then you look at who else we've got: Andrea Caldarelli, Bryce Darren, Christian Mansell, who, funnily enough, I recognise that name because I've commentated on him when he was in Junior Rotax alongside, of all people, who's just joined the Ferrari Driver Academy, James Wharton.
James Wharton, yeah, absolutely.
So Kush Maini, Patrick Kujala, Patrick Mathiesen, Lucy De Paul, the Belgian, Yama Burnham. There was so much great talent in there, but I think just with, you can see how many votes Josh won by. I mean, it was nearly 200 there. So credit to everyone for voting in their thousands for ahead of tonight. And, it's really good to see the love for people that go out there and risk life and limb, be it on 2 or 4 wheels, every single time the lights go out.
Indeed, and a big shout out as well to Kaylin Frederick, of course, the first American ever to win the BRD CF3 Championship. Fabulous result there as well. So well done to our nominees. You all deserve to win in our eyes, but we couldn't give you all the accolade. We had to let the public decide, and this year they have voted for Josh Brooks as the Overseas Racer of the Year 2020. Congratulations. And Daisy May, who is watching along, is particularly happy. My favourite BSB rider, love him to bits, and no doubt he is very much deserving of the award. Well done to Josh Brooks. I hope wherever he is, the message gets back to him and he can enjoy the moment. Now we go to our National Racer of the Year. These are the 12 competitors that have been nominated by our team and by you, the public, as well, for who should be the National Racer of the Year. Now, this is someone who doesn't necessarily have to have done a full campaign in 2020, but certainly someone from the national motorsport scene who has been a great performer and a great competitor, no matter what they have taken into and what they have been able to achieve over the course of a 2020 season. And this is a phenomenal result, phenomenal amount of votes again in the national category. But I have to say the result may not be what people were expecting. In third position, the second runner-up, Colin Turkington. former British Touring Car Champion, and he was second in the British Touring Car Championship this year. Fantastic performance once again, Colin. In second place, National Racer of the Year, the first runner-up, Ash Sutton, the man who sealed another British Touring Car title in his trusty Infinity and did a fantastic job and, of course, won the biggest title in British car racing. Congratulations to Ash Sutton. But the winner is a bit of a surprise and a very pleasant one. Your National Racer of the Year 2020 in the Downforce Awards is Jessica Hawkins. Absolutely phenomenal performance this year. Made her British Touring Car debut, has done phenomenal work in the world of stunt performing and racing and a few different things over the course of 2020. A lot of driver coaching this year as well. But as far as you guys, the public, were concerned, getting into W Series in 2019 and her continued work on and off the circuit in 2020 makes her, in the eyes of the British public, the National Racer of the Year. Alex, as a friend to her, both of us, that is a phenomenal result.
Good old bowl hat's done the business right there. Sorry, had to be said. Whenever you see Jess in the paddock, I saw it every single time. The brand finale, as it was called at W Series, where Jamie Chadwick took the inaugural W Series title. We do have to give a very. I really need to do this tonight, but we do have to say a big thank you to former Communications Director of W Series, Matt Bishop, who now, as of the 1st of January, becomes the Chief Communications Officer for Aston Martin Racing for 2021 onwards. The amount of access that he provided the likes of myself, Emma Butterworth, and a few others within the team to really help us. I mean, Jess will be on the grid again for 2021. Where there is a forthcoming exciting couple of interview pieces with Jamie Chadwick about esports and Extreme E, with a recent chat with her just this past week or so, coming up here on Downforce Racing. But yeah, Jess, along with her, you can't forget some other people that also got their debut with PowerMax Racing, because PowerMax was looking to bring new faces in. Bradley Philpott, we have to give that good old guy I mentioned. Running in GT Cup, a 2-time VLN champion. Jade Edwards also got the nod to get in the Astra as well. She did a very good job and at one point was running in the top 20.
She was.
But with Jess, Jess doing a lot of work behind the scenes with Land Rover, obviously a lot of stunt driving. She's also a custom racewear ambassador for the X-Pro suit. So the amount of work that Jess does behind the scenes, but also I know, well, we both know for a fact, and we've seen it on her Instagram as well, that she also does coaching and mechanicking for Fusion Motorsport in karting as well. So she's definitely a multifaceted individual who's definitely got a heart of gold in the motorsport paddock.
We also have to give a massive shout out to our fellow nominees in the National Racer of the Year category, to Esme Hawkey and Harry King, both of them doing fantastic job on the Toka package this year. John Byrne doing as amazing racing as he always does in the world of caterhams. Josh Brooks, who we've already mentioned and has already won the Overseas Racer of the Year. He was also National Racer of the Year and nominee. Luke Browning, British Formula 4 champion. Ryan Smith, British Truck Racing champion. And Sandy Mitchell, British GT champion in the GT4 category, I do believe. But what a fantastic season it has been for national racers on the scene. And this year, you have voted for Jessica Hawkins as your National Racer of the Year 2020. Awesome stuff. Right, to the International Racer of the Year. This is for British racers on the world stage. So a British racer that is competing on an international playing field. And it may not be a massive surprise, but all three of the top three are currently racing in a single-seater. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. In third position, the second runner-up, it is Lando Norris, who took McLaren's first podium on the road since back in 2012 over the course of the 2020 season. In fact, he did it as early as the first race of the year in Austria and has helped the team guide on to third position in the Constructors' Championship. In second place, the first runner-up, George Russell, the man who raced for Williams over the course of 2020, got the call-up when a certain 7-time world champion fell victim to COVID-19. George Russell stepped into the Mercedes team and very nearly won his maiden Grand Prix victory at the Sakhir Grand Prix. But your winner of the International Racer of the Year 2020, it's not a massive shock. It's Lewis Hamilton, who tomorrow may well become Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he becomes the greatest Formula One driver of all time by statistics, and could well be the first active Knight of the Realm in Formula One as a driver, Alex. That is a phenomenal achievement and a great year for him.
We have to give credit to everyone that was part of this. I mean, Lando Norris, the Austrian Grand Prix, if anyone might remember, that's a certain somebody top of this pile actually had a bit of a clanger, 5-second penalty with contact with Alexander Albon from Red Bull. But then it just literally showcased how talented, even at his young age, that Lando Norris is. And I still remember watching those 2 laps over and over again and him getting that first ever podium on merit. But yeah, I mean, if that does happen, imagine that, Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Imagine that though, Simon Lazenby welcoming him in and saying, "Come and sit down, my lord."
Yes, absolutely. He'll have to call him my lord, won't he?
Yeah,
fantastic. A massive congratulations to the other nominees in this category, to Alex Lynn and obviously as well to Mike Conway, both title winners and competitors in the World Endurance Championship. To Callum Bradshaw, the karting world champion, for nominated in this list. Callum Eilert, the runner-up in Formula 2. Elfyn Evans, the runner-up in the World Rally Championship. Jonathan Ray, another World Superbike title to add to his collection. Johnny Edgar, the ADAC Formula 4 champion in Germany. Philip Hansen, a consistent LMP2 race winner and champion. And of course, Sam Lowes, the vice champion in Moto 2. An amazing collection of talent, but it's Lewis Hamilton, no major shocks, is your International Racer of the Year 2020. Now, we move on to the big ones. We start with the Clapham North MOT Team of the Year. This has become one of our more popular competitions of late, and it rewards the teams that have captured the imagination of the Downforce fan base and the audience of British motorsport in general. So we will start with our second runner-up. In third position, it is Fusion Motorsport, the karting team that has won so many titles over the years, continues to plug away at the British scene, and it has lifted not only the IAME Euro Series title in the Mini X30 category, but also the International iGames title in the Senior X30 category with Connor Jupp. A fantastic performance from Fusion Motorsport in 2020. In second place, the first runner-up, McLaren Racing, fighting back to get their first top 3 in a Constructors' Championship for almost a decade. And it was great to see McLaren Racing get themselves back into the top 3 where they so rightfully belong. But your Clapham North Team of the Year 2020... again, it's not a massive surprise. It's Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 as they take their record-smashing 7th Constructors' Championship in a row in Formula 1. I mean, the dominance is immense, Alex, but can they sustain it going into another season next year?
Well, I think we're going to have to wait and find out, Jakey boy, because to be honest with you, the way that things are going, reference Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1, we came out of the dominant Red Bull era between 2010 and 2013, where the Milton Keynes squad was literally the team to beat. And Mercedes, I remember distinctly saying that if Mercedes get the right team around Hamilton, they will be literally unbeatable. And 2014 Australia, we saw a few drivers not very happy. We saw one Red Bull star move on to Ferrari the following season, and now he's moving on to pastures new in 2021, of course, Sebastian Vettel. But the way that Toto Wolff, originally got into Formula One through Williams as a shareholder, through being a very astute businessman, a former racer himself, and also former Nürburgring Nordschleife GT lap record holder in his own right, replaced Norbert Haug, along with with Dieter Zetscher being one of the catalysts, working with Toto, and then obviously Ola Kalenius, who's now the new head of Daimler Group, who run the team. Things can't really go any better for them, and obviously now there's been the three-way ownership split that has just happened with Ineos now coming on board as a third owner of the team. I think really Kalenius has been very, very vocal, has said, we want to become carbon neutral in Formula One. And with the performance that they've shown over the last 7 years, I'm not at all surprised if that success does continue. But the biggest question is, ladies and gentlemen, not if, when is Lewis Hamilton going to re-sign for 2021? That's just the biggest thing that everyone's just waiting.
Hours away, I'm sure.
Probably hours away. As soon as his knighthood is potentially confirmed, then we're going to have that announcement from Mercedes. Who knows?
I'm sure. Well, a massive big shout out as well to the other teams that were nominated in this category, to AB Motorsport, to Bad Obsession Motorsport, to Fortec, to Mittel Cars, to PowerMax Racing, to Total Karting, and to VR Motorsport, being nominated alongside the top 3 winning teams. Very, very impressive indeed, and we wish all the best for you and everyone involved in the category and in the teams in 2021. But the Clapham North Team of the Year is Mercedes AMG Petronas F1, and a massive thank you to George Grant, Ronnie Grant, and everybody over at Clapham North MOT, continuing their magnificent support of us and for keeping me on the road. They really do. A massive thank you to them as well. Right, let's move on to the Grassroots Racer of the Year. Now, with the Grassroots Racer of the Year, this category is designed to give racers who are starting their motor racing journey, whether they are young or old, whether they are in the birth of karting or whether they are in a very unique form of motor racing, whether it be lawnmowers, whether it be esports, whether it be various different categories of club racing. It's for people who are starting their journey in motor racing at a competitive level and want to continue to move forward with it. This is a phenomenal opportunity to showcase some talent. We love the Zach Anderton Grassroots Racer of the Year, named after our dearly departed friend and colleague, who sadly is no longer with us, but we continue this award in his honour, as he certainly would have been a very top talent in the world of motorsport. So, we come to our 3 top runners. In third position, the second runner-up, Dave Marshall, one of the most competitive esports racers from Great Britain in 2020, a name that has really bounced onto the scene and done incredible works wherever he has gone racing, and we look forward to seeing what he can continue to progress to in 2021. Congratulations to Dave Marshall. In second position, the first runner-up, Charlotte Marcuso, one of the talented female motorcycle racers coming through, hoping to emulate those who have come before her, such as Jenny Tidswell and Jenny Tidmouth even. A fantastic performance from Charlotte Marcuso in 2020, and we hope that she continues her progression up the world of European motorcycle racing, and hopefully we'll see her on the MotoGP grid one day. But your 2020 Zach Anderton Grassroots Racer of the Year 2020, it is the former F100 O-Plate holder, Jade Goodwin, who takes the title. An absolutely overwhelming response from you who voted, and a fantastic, phenomenal display from Jade Goodwin in her first full season in the F100 UK Series to finish second in the championship. She's a wonderful character, a fantastic competitor, Alex, and great to see her get the recognition she deserves here.
And also, we have to give a shout out to everybody at F100, Spirit of the 90s, including the man that runs the place in there, good old Mr. Jay Fairbrass.
Yeah.
Hope you're all keeping well, yourself and Lauren and the entire team at F100, and hopefully, you never know, we might have myself and Jake hopefully commentating on one of your events.
Oh, I would
next
love
year.
that.
That's always been on my bucket list, to commentate on the F100s. Congratulations to Jade. Congratulations to Charlotte. Of course, really good to see that Dave Marshall, one of the guys that is now a pillar of the Virtual Reality Racing Club, a 2-time Touring Car E-Series champion with them. Also, the Mini Challenge UK E-Series champion in terms of the sim racing side of things. Now, along with the likes of Jack McIntyre, he's running something called 10 Tenths Motorsport, where it's sim coaching. But also you have to look at everyone else like Alec Graham, Dale Ford, Dave Langley, Frankie Wayman Jr., Fred Green, Jack Keithley and Jack Tomlin, all worthy of this award. But just look at the amount of votes that Jade got. Jade Goodwin.
She's
just
a very
over
popular
1,000 in that.
Well, she's a very popular character within the paddock. Everybody seems to love her, and it's wonderful to see what she's been able to do in the world of F100 this year. But we do, of course, as always, have to give a shout out to the other nominees. Alec Graham, who won the 24-hour 2CV race earlier this year. Dale Ford, who's been legendary and prolific in BTRDA Rallycross this year. Dave Langley, one of the stars of the club motorcycle scene, continuing to win at everything he turns to. Fred Green, up-and-coming Miami cadet racer, fresh out of the world of short ovals. Frankie Wayman Jr., who's been there since time immemorial and just does not slow down in the world of brisker Formula 1 stock car racing. Jack Keithley, a very competitive esports racer in his own right. And, of course, Jack Tomlin, who has progressed from the world of karting to F1000 UK in his 2020 performances. But what a fantastic result and a great accolade for our Zach Anderton Grassroots Racer of the Year 2020. Jade Goodwin. And that is a wonderful, wonderful result. Well done to Jade, and a happy new year to you. Now, we move on to our Club Racer of the Year. Now, again, this is named in honour of one of our fallen colleagues and one of our very much missed friends in the motor racing world, John Bateman, who was a fabulous racer in the British Racing Sports Car Club, contested many a race aboard his trusty Fiesta, and it doesn't quite feel the same without him, and we decided to rename the Club Racer of the Year award in his honour. So, our third position runner in 2020, the second runner-up, Rory Smith, the man who went on to win this year's Formula Ford Festival and join an incredible list of names, such as, well, the names just go on and on, including Formula One World Champion Jenson Button, of course, who went on to win that. So Rory Smith, who added his name to that illustrious list of winners, he is our second runner-up. In second place, our first runner-up, Paige Bellaby, one of the rising stars of British Rallycross, and did a phenomenal job in this year's campaign, and it's great to see her getting recognition as the first runner-up in the John Bateman Club Racer Award. However, your 2020 John Bateman Club Racer of the Year, as voted for by you, it is Brit Car Endurance Champion Jemima Hepworth. She has been absolutely phenomenal. She is a former Downforce Radio winner, of course, in the Downforce Awards. Previously, she won the Teen Award a couple of seasons back, and it's great to see her once again take another accolade, this time as the John Bateman Club Racer of the Year. And Alex, with her Brit Car campaign aboard the Praga, it's hard to imagine anyone capturing the British public's imagination in quite the same way.
Yeah, I mean, we both followed her progress through the Young Racing Driver Academy, which is backed by Arden, and now to see her doing such a great job and to win Brit Car, the Endurance Championship in her first outing, I mean, that just speaks volumes because we both know that you can have your trials and tribulations in karting, but that there are some drivers that absolutely thrive after that, and Jem herself has done a really, really good, solid job this year in a car that is going to be quite prevalent, obviously with Prague UK now getting a bit more involved for 2021, multiple cars coming onto the Britcard grid for next season. That's just, I think, a sign of things to come from not just Jemima Hepworth, but also every one of the drivers that were nominated and also voted for this evening.
There is an incredible waft of talent in the Club Racer of the Year award this year. Dan Clues, who finally got his hands on the F1000 UK title. Daniel Clark, who's been incredibly competitive all the way through his season. Danny Harrison, of course, who shared the car with Jemima Hepworth, and his performance should not be underrated either after his performances in Fiestas through the years. Henry Neal, who did such a great job in the TCR UK. Oliver Allwood, who finally won a Mazda title after so many years of searching for it. Rob Wellham, who has not only been a competitive single-seater racer with F1000, but has also been a spirited campaigner for good causes through the world of British motorsport. But Stephen Daly is in the list as well after his phenomenal performances that just continue to stun and impress in the BMW Compact Cup and beyond. But what a phenomenal list of drivers. This year, though, it is Jemima Hepworth who takes the John Bateman Club Racer of the Year accolade for 2020. Congratulations. For those who have sat through the whole thing, well done. We've got just 3 awards to go, and the next one is a very special one to me and Alex because, of course, it's our bread and butter. It's the Martin Hines Kart Racer of the Year 2020. So many tough choices for you all to make in your voting. There were so many worthy winners of this award, not just at international level, but also at domestic level as well. And I think all 3 of these racers thoroughly deserve their credit. In third position, the second runner-up, Freddie Slater, the junior world champion, doing a fantastic job with Ricky Flynn Motorsport throughout the course of 2020 and putting on an exceptional display to win a very gripping final at Portimao. In second position, the first runner-up, the man who won the seniors that day, Callum Bradshaw for Tony Carr, in only his 3rd weekend with the team all season, and in his 3rd attempt to win the World Championship, he got the job done in exceptionally tricky conditions to become the new World Karting Champion. But neither of them are the Martin Hines Kart Racer of the Year 2020, as voted for by you. That honour goes to young Theo McCurris, who captured the public's imagination representing Great Britain in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy, having never even tested in Europe, never mind raced in Europe, came fresh in with no experience and managed to become the vice winner of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy in 2020. An exceptional performance from such a young driver with no experience and a fraction of the budget of the big guns, Alex. It really is great to see him deserving such a worthy accolade.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, the person that secured the title in the FIA Academy Trophy this year, the US's very own Connor Zilic, who, funny enough, when I was at the X-Kart launch at Wilton Mill, there he was in his Ward Racing overalls, testing at Wilton in the wet. So I was really tempted to like pull into one side and say, hey, great job this year in the FIA Academy Trophy. But, you know, Theo and Dino, we both know personally, you know, a great family, a lad and dad operation unlike any other. And for them to, you know, for Theo to be at that to get that award, it's a prestigious award. A big thank you to the Hines family, especially Luke Hines, who we both know very well.
Yeah.
You can see, obviously, on your screens, the likes of Adam Sparrow.
Look how close it was, though. Look how close the vote was this year.
I know. And there are certain drivers that I know in this category as well.
Yeah.
Guy Cunnington, Joe Turney, who was with KR Sport the week after the Miami I Games with KR Sport. You know, he won he's one of those people, you know, even though being a Tony Kart factory driver, he was still helping, going through the data analysis with the drivers. Daniel Ginchard, new with Argenti Motorsport, on his debut on the international scene with Argenti, goes out and gets a place at the Rotax Max Grand Finals at Portimao with Argenti. Morgan Porter needs a mention because he's part of the Argenti stable. He also took a ticket at the International Trophy the other weekend at Wilton Mill. He secured the Senior Rotax British Kart Championship, which Guy Cunnington last year secured. And Guy Cunnington, Miami X30 Euro Series Senior X30 champion by, what was it, 1 point at the end of it all at Marienburg, because obviously I'm not the one commentating on that. Somebody else was.
That might be me. That might be me on that one.
I think that might have been, yes. But yeah, Caden McQueen, Callum Bradshaw, Connor Jupp, you know, there's so many great drivers in there. And every single one of them, in my estimation, was a contender for this award. But it is down to you, the public. As much as we would like to say, yeah, this is who we think it is, you people might say, well, yeah, you two blokes just talk about karting. Well, that's true. That's part of our employment. But the amount of talent in this was definitely really, really great to see. And congratulations to everybody for being voted for. I will be catching up with Dan Ginchard tomorrow, funnily enough. So I'll send him your welcome regards.
Fantastic.
Jake.
Well, when you look at every single driver in that list there, Adam Sparrow, Caden McQueen, Callum Bradshaw, Connor Jupp, Dan Ginchard, Danny Curl, Freddie Slater, Guy Cunnington, Joe Turney, Theo McCurris, they all won amazing achievements in 2020 in some way or another. But the fact that all of them got a bare minimum of 300 of the votes is just phenomenal. It shows that British karting is alive and kicking, and we're going to have some phenomenal talents in the future to come as well. But well done to Theo McCurris. It's a tight battle, but he wins our Martin Hines Kart Racer of the Year 2020 accolade. Our last two awards now. The ones that started us off all the way back in 2014 when we did our first Downforce Awards. The first one is for under 13 racers, and it is named in honour of the late great short oval superstar Keir Miller, who we still miss very dearly indeed, and we know would have been a megastar in the world of motor racing, whatever he had turned his hand to. And we named this race award in his honour. So this year, we will name the top 3 racers in our Keir Miller Under 13 Racer of the Year award. In third position, the second runner-up, Isla Monday. Fantastic performance from her in 2020. She really has turned the corner with amazing promotional work alongside Motorsport Woman, but also in her own right as a racing driver. She's really starting to become a big figure in the world of cadet and bambino racing, and it's good to see her continue to make her progression. Congratulations, Isla, and a happy new year to you. In second place, our first runner-up, Zach Drummond. A performance to be absolutely sneered at through the course of 2020. He's been exceptional in Honda Cadet. He's never been away from the top 3. He's been flying the Saltire with great pride and verve over the course of his 2020 season, and he thoroughly deserves the recognition. But the 2020 Keir Miller Under 13 Racer of the Year is Kasper Tomaszewski. He has been a fantastic, phenomenal performer this year. He's gone from a midfielder to a front runner in the space of a few short weeks with minimal testing, and he really has put on an exceptional display in 2020. This is the year, Alex, where he's really turned the corner, and he is very, very deserving of this award.
All I'm going to say, Rafał Kasia, what can I say? I'm absolutely speechless for this young man.
And I should point this out as well, because Alex has no clue before this who has won. I have literally kept this result from him. He has had no idea all the way through the night who has won these as well. But Kasper and the family, you know very well, Alex, through your work in Rotax and Honda.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I started commentating on Kasper back in 2017 at the London Cup. And it still happens to this poor guy. If you're going to commentate on Kasper, his surname is pronounced Tomaszewski, as I found out at the London Cup. And it was only when Rafał, who I didn't really know, I was it was my first year of commentary, asked to do the London Cup commentary that year. And then I jumped on board with the Bambino Kart Club. So we were doing race day live, and I got to know Rafał Kasia and Kasper's younger sister Maya, who recently did turn some wheels at Lark Hall. So watch out, there could be little sis on the horizon. But the fact that Kasper has taken, after 3 years of trying, a Honda Cadet national title in Super 1 Bambino BKC, which has been run by John Hoyle and Aaron Beavers this year. I've seen the trials and tribulations. I've seen him compete like at Rara all across the country. He's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride, but in 2020 that happened this year. And I'm so pleased for them, because they're a lad and dad operation. The family, whenever, whenever I got into the paddock back in 2018, or whenever I've seen them, like at the British Kart Championships back in 2019, where I did Rissington and Shennington that year. I didn't do any Rotax commentary, which was quite a surprise for me that season on the British Kart Championships. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really pleased for all of them, and well done, guys. Thoroughly deserved to. I mean, I know Isla Monday and her dad Tom from the old Rye House days, and really good to see that she's now doing great. Fraser Drummond, the way he won the title at Wilton Mill. Not just Henry Bodette and Anthony Jordan had their hearts in their mouths, but when I saw that happen on the final lap of the season, that incident.
Good old Zach Drummond. Good job.
I was sort of like thinking, I've got palpitations, but I'm so glad. And he was still happy to do an interview with Anthony in the pit lane at Wilton Mill. Yeah. But congratulations to everyone. We have to give a shout out to everyone else that were voted for this. Yep. Nathan Ty, Juliet, Macaulay Bishop, Jensen Chalk, Harley McCabe, Daniel Stevenson, Cahal Clark, Sukhmani Kera as well. But I mean, just to see the amounts of votes that came in for Kasper, that is nearly double of what was given for Zach.
Certainly was.
That's definitely a landslide. And I know for a fact that Kasper is moving into a new class for 2021. I think he's going into mini rock, and now to have a championship under the belt, the duck is off this young boy's back, and he can now go into 2021 with a bit more confidence and try a new class and see how he gets on.
Fantastic. Congratulations to Kasper Tomaszewski. Well done to all of the nominees who got an amazing reception at the end of a tough 2020 season. But your Keir Miller Under 13 Racer of the Year 2020 is Kasper Tomaszewski. One more. I know you all want to continue on with your build up to New Year's, but we have one more award to announce, and it is the Henry Surtees Teen Racer of the Year. We are continued to be indebted to the Surtees family, who continue to patron this illustrious award, named after the great Henry Surtees, who would have been a Formula One contender, we're sure, had he not sadly been taken from us at Brands Hatch in 2009. So we continue to honour his memory by recognising the talents of the best teenagers in British motorsport each year. So, our third place competitor, as voted for by you, our second runner-up, Lewis Saunders. It has been a fantastic performance from him in 2020 in the Junior Saloon Car Championship. Yet again, He's a phenomenal character, an incredible exponent of what British motor racing drivers are supposed to be about, and he really does have heroic tendencies and a tenacious nature on a race circuit, but a wonderful, warm character in the paddock that shines wherever he goes, and we are so indebted to what he has given us through Junior Saloons. We can't wait to see what he does on the major national motorsport stage. Congratulations to Lewis, our second runner-up in the Henry Surtees Teen Racer of the Year. In second place, Tyrone and Lewis Evans, the first runners-up in the Henry Surtees Teen Racer of the Year. Phenomenal performance from them. The twins, who have gone from mini stocks straight into Briscoe F1 this year and been absolutely exceptional. A fantastic performance from them. They really have been absolutely majestic. But your 2020 Henry Surtees Teen Racer of the Year, as voted for by you. Abby Pulling, a fantastic performance from her over the course of British F4 in the 2020 season, fighting for podiums in the majority of the races this year. A British karting sensation and a phenomenal talent, and there's definitely a massive future where her motor racing career is concerned. And I've just noticed that the graphic does say 2019. We will, of course, change it to 2020. But what a performance, Alex, from someone who's known and watched Abby Pulling from the world of karting to come onto the British F4 scene this year and be as exceptional as she is. It really is a deserving win.
Yeah, two-time junior TKM British champion, and now moving into single-seaters. And I have to give credit where credit is due. Abby's done a fantastic job this year, and obviously the year previously. There's a lot that's going to be very, very bright for this young lady, I think, but also everyone else that has been nominated for this award and obviously got into our top three. But I think there was something. There was that glint in the eye of Abby. When I saw her, when you used to watch the old Super One videos that you and your good old friend from TDI Media, Alan Taddy. Good evening, Alan. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. To see how she's come along in leaps and bounds. You look at the other people that have been put into this. Katie McQueen again, Franco Bourne, Freddie Slater, Harry Burgoyne Jr., Joseph Loke, Theo Makuris again in this award as well, Tom Levin, who we mentioned earlier on. It's really good to see that everyone's getting an opportunity to be voted for. And a big thank you to the public for all the votes and all the support this year.
Well, it's been a phenomenal end to a phenomenal night. We hope you've enjoyed watching along. Alex, I know you're on World Pro Racing duties very shortly, so I will close out the feed by reminding everybody the winners of the awards. But a massive thank you to you once again for helping us go through it. And it's always been great to have your watchful eye over these proceedings year in, year out. Those who want to follow Alex, of course, on his racing journeys in 2021, on Instagram, he is Alex Goldschmidt77. We can't wait to hear you on the microphone again, buddy.
Yeah, just waiting for that opportunity, obviously, depending on what happens. But I'm sure that you will hear me on the esports racing grid very, very soon. Recently made my the Sim Grid debut on the British Classics with a good old friend of ours from Canberra Media, David Christie. Also doing a lot of work with World Pro Racing, E-Team Brit, amongst others. I've also going to be starting working with the Danes with GTR 24H. Starting next month. That's not too far away, of course. But yeah, looking forward to heading back to the B&L Karting Series, Rotax Max Challenge Germany and Rotax Max Euro Trophy for 2021. Obviously, if the calendars do get delayed, we'll deal with it as it comes. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to being back on the microphone very soon. And it's always a pleasure to talk with you, my old chum.
Thank you, Alex Goldschmidt. If you want to follow him, as I said, on social media, on Instagram, it is Alex Goldschmidt77. We can't wait to hear what you have to give us in 2021. Alex, a massive thank you.
And thank you, Jake, for having me on. And also a big thank you, I want to say as operations manager, a big thank you to our team.
Yep.
For what's been a very, very difficult year. The website, you can find it downforceracing.uk. You can follow us on all our relevant social media channels on Facebook, at Downforce Racing UK, at Downforce UK on Twitter, and on Instagram, if memory serves me correctly. There is so much coming from us in 2021. I'd like to say also, I had the pleasure of meeting Seamus Shields from Advanced Construction Scotland. What a guy. And Seamus, I look forward to catching up with you and Kian at some point in the not too distant future. It was a pleasure to see them in Portimao for the Rotax International Trophy. But yeah, a big thank you on behalf of the team and myself. Big thank you to you all for your support and continuing to ensure that the mantra of motorsport should be fun is alive and well here on Downforce UK.
Thank you, Alex. We wish you all the best for 2021. So let's remind ourselves of the competitors who have taken the accolades tonight in each of the categories. We obviously knew already about Paul O'Neill, our commentator of the year for 2020, our Marshal of the Year 2020, and it will be forever named in his honour. It is Bunny himself, Phil Bunn. You are much missed, our dear friend and colleague. We wish you and the family all the very best at this very tough time, and love and wishes to the friends and family. Catherine Potter, our People's Champion for 2020. We can't wait to see what she gets up to in the 2021 season. The FIA Karting Championships are named as the International Series of the Year. The Circuit of the Year 2020 back here in Great Britain is the Adrian Flux Arena at Kings Lynn in the short oval racing scene. The Achievement of the Year has to go collectively to the British motorsport community for keeping motor racing alive and kicking through a tough COVID-19 2020 season. The National Autistic Society Award is for the first time shared between esports star Bradley Brockies and Fiesta Junior racing star George Davis. We look forward to seeing their activities in 2021. Hope you have a wonderful evening tomorrow to see out the new year. Racing Game of the Year 2020? Well, it could only go to Assetto Corsa Competizione, blurring the lines between real racing and the world of emotion in esports. A fantastic performance from all of the guys at Kuno Simulazione. The Hall of Fame this year goes to the late great Sir Sterling Moss, who has very much contributed his entire life to the world of motorsport. Sadly, he left us in the spring, but we couldn't think of anybody more deserving for this accolade in 2020. So the National Championships, we go for the National Series of the Year 2020. That once again went to the British Touring Car Championship. The One Make of the Year went the way of the Mini 7 Racing Club, a phenomenally popular series. The Single Seater Series of the Year is British Formula 4. Phenomenal performance from them all year. The Cadet Kart Championship is your karting series of the year. Congratulations to Matty Street and the entire team. The Saloon Car Series of the year is the BMW Compact Cup, once more providing great race action on the British Racing Sports Car Club bill. Enduro KA is the Grassroots Series of the year for 2020. The Brit Car Endurance Championship becomes the Sports Car Series of the year once again in our rundown. The Club Series of the year, well, that rightly goes to the BRSCC Club Sport Trophy after a phenomenal opening campaign. And the Ginetta Junior Championship is your Junior Series of the year. The Overseas Racer of the Year to start our Racers Awards goes the way of Josh Brooks. The Australian superstar becomes British Superbike champion, and of course also the Overseas Racer of the Year in the Downforce Awards 2020. Jessica Hawkins is named your National Racer of the Year for 2020 after making her British Touring Car debut and doing incredible countless work both on and off the circuit this year. The International Racer of the Year is Lewis Hamilton, as he became a record-breaking 7 times world champion and the most prolific winner in Formula 1 history. The Clapham North Team of the Year goes the way of his team, Mercedes AMG Petronas F1, after a phenomenal campaign in which they broke the record, 7 straight titles in Formula 1. The Zach Anderton Grassroots Racer of the Year, well, that goes to the phenomenally talented Jade Goodwin in her first full season in the F100 UK Series. She has become the vice-champion and so nearly won the title after an epic conclusion at Butmore Park. A fantastic performance from her. The John Bateman Club Racer of the Year, a fellow woman in the fast lane, Jemima Hepworth. In her first full year of car racing, she becomes Brit Car Endurance Champion, a phenomenal achievement aboard the Praga R1 and very much deserving of your votes. The Martin Hines Kart Racer of the Year 2020 is Theo Makouris after his exceptional performance in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy, vice champion in only his first ever campaign in Europe, where he only raced in Europe 3 weekends all year and didn't get to test once. His performance and his achievement is astonishing. The Keir Miller Under-13 Racer of the Year is Kasper Tomilewski after his maiden Honda Cadet title in British karting with Super 1 and the Bambino Kart Club. A fantastic result for him and a brilliant accolade to end his phenomenal year. And finally, the Henry Surtees Teen Racer of the Year is the phenomenal Abby Pulling after her incredible success in British Formula 4. And we're sure that there is many more great race days to come from her as the future of motorsport unfolds. We hope you've enjoyed all of the activity and all of the excitement here tonight. It's not quite the way we wanted to host our awards, but we will be back to a public dominion as soon as COVID-19 affords us the opportunity to do so, and we can't wait to be back with you for the Downforce Awards in person the next time. I'm Jake Sanson. A massive thank you from Alex Goldschmidt as well, and from the whole Downforce Radio team. We hope you enjoyed your Christmas festive season, and from all of us here a happy new year.